Hello again, everyone. This is Chris Scher, and that is Robert Harding, the one and only. Except no imitations. God, I got some lame jokes sometimes. Man, I got to cut those out. This is Citizen Sports Weekly for Thursday, March 3rd, 2016. And we have two topics to discuss in this sports video. The first one we're going to discuss is baseball. It is March.
Baseball.
Spring training is in full bloom. There are actual grapefruit and cactus league games going on.
Mm-hmm.
This is good. This means spring's coming.
Yeah.
And for baseball, you know, the Yankees made the playoffs. They lost in the wild card game. The Mets, I think, surprised a lot of people, including their own fans. Went to the World Series, came very close, but did not make it. Did not beat the Royals. And this is going to be. I think this is going to be a very entertaining baseball season.
Mm-hmm.
Can the Royals repeat? Okay. Can the Cubs, that you arguably you would say that on paper may be the best team in baseball?
I think they're the favorites, right?
All right. Can they end the curse? Okay. 108 years since their last World Series title and 61 years since their last National League pennant. Can they end those jinxes? Okay, we'll see what that happens. The Cardinals are still going to be a good team.
Sure.
The Pirates are still going to be a good team.
Absolutely.
The Mets are still going to be a good team, you would think.
Yeah.
Are the Nationals going to be better with Dusty Baker in the dugout? That's your team.
That is my team.
Yeah.
You know, I think the pitching's always a question mark. They have some good pitching, but, it's the bullpen. They did improve the offensive side of the lineup, so that's encouraging. Bryce Harper was basically the offense last year. They have some bats now to help them out. So, and injuries were a problem too. But we'll see how it goes. I'm optimistic.
I know it's gonna be a really fun baseball season because you had teams that, like I said, surprised people last year. The Rangers, the Astros were surprises. The Mets were surprises. The Royals weren't a surprise because they went to the World Series the year before, but the fact that they actually made it all the way back and won the thing is still pretty cool.
Right.
And then you have teams that, like the Red Sox. The Red Sox have done a lot of changes and everything. Are they going to be competitive again? The Giants, they seem to win the World Series every other year. Well,
they're up.
They're due. The Dodgers, obviously, they got rid of Don Mattingly.
Yeah.
That's how that's going to affect that team. And the Marlins got Don Mattingly, and how's that going to affect that team? I follow the Marlins a little bit. I'm not a huge fan of them, but Mark Del Piano, a classmate of mine, is in charge of the Marlins minor league organization, and he's getting some. He got some nice public rave reviews by the Miami Herald, and it's going to be interesting to see how the Marlins do this year. Because they've made some changes in the front office and in the dugout. So there's a lot of good storylines for this upcoming baseball season. It's going to be entertaining. And, hey, Vin Scully's last year as Dodgers announcer.
Wow.
This is amazing.
Legendary.
You can make all the jokes you want. He started with the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1950.
Yeah.
1950. Okay. That's even before I was born, okay? Seriously.
Allegedly.
Yeah. I was not around in 1950. Honestly, and that's good. I said that I'm basically going to order the MLB .TV package just so I can watch Dodger games because I really want to hear Vin Scully as much as possible.
Will you get the Dodgers specific MLB.TV?
No. I'm not going to do that because that's $20 less. They're charging $107 for the full package. It's $85 for a team package. If you're going to spend $85, you might as well go up another $20 and get everything. So, and plus, I want to follow the Seattle Mariners because Manny Acta, the former Double Days manager, is a third base coach with the Mariners. He's back in baseball in a MLB uniform for the first time since the end of the 2012 season. So, the West Coast games, I can watch those, and I'm probably going to get the package and watch the Mariners and the Dodgers when I get home from work at night. So,
yeah. Last year was my first year as an MLB.TV subscriber, and I used it primarily to watch the Nationals games, and I loved it. Loved being able to have that kind of access. When you're watching your favorite team, if you don't live in that, if you're a Yankees fan or Mets fan in this market,
right?
You're fine. But if you like any other baseball team, it's a little tough unless they're on ESPN. So that certainly helped me watch many games last year. I think I watched at least probably 40 or 50 on TV. So,
Do you want anything else about baseball?
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually planning on going to a couple of a few Nationals games this year, Nationals Park, and even though I'm a fan, I've been to several ballparks, and it's one of the best ballparks out there. Number one ballpark, I would say, PNC in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
which I know that you want to get to.
I'm thinking about maybe making the trip down there when the Mariners play the Pirates Interleague in July. So I'm thinking about it. I got to talk to Manny and see if I can have a chance to meet up with him. So our next topic is Syracuse basketball. The Cuse they're on the bubble.
They are on
the bubble, and that loss against to North Carolina, not a bad loss because North Carolina is no slouch. No shame in losing at Chapel Hill,
no.
But a win I think would have basically clinched a NCAA tourney appearance for them. So they've got Florida State on Saturday and the regular season and the ACC tournament. Robert and I have been discussing this in the office, and I think we both concur that they have to beat Florida State on Saturday. If fans or buts, they have to win this game. That'll give them 20 wins. And then if they win at least one ACC tournament game, we think that'll be enough to get them in. I think if they don't win in the ACC tourney, I still think they're going to make it, but I think if they do make it, they may be one of the last teams in.
Yeah, I think if they lose in the tourney, it would give the committee more of a reason to say, all right, maybe not Syracuse.
Yeah.
Let's look at some other options.
Yeah.
And, you never want to be in that position. But, if they win a game, I think it improves their resume. I told you the other day that if they win two, I think they're a lock.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That would be enough to convince the committee that, okay, yes, let's put them in the tournament.
Yeah, if they win two ACC tourney games, they are definitely going to be in. So, but it'll be interesting because this team, as you guys know, it's streaky. I mean, they get in some stretches where they play great basketball, and then they get in stretches where they couldn't hit a barn if they were right next to it. I mean, it's just one of those things that you can't explain it. They're consistently inconsistent.
Yeah, and the thing is, they have some good players on this team. Tyler Lydon, Benajay, Malachi Richardson,
Trevor
Cooney, who's probably the poster boy for this team. I was reading a story about Cooney and kind of the comparisons to Jerry McNamara, of course. Being the last great 3-point shooter, and I think Cooney does get a bad rap at times, but there are games when Cooney is inconsistent. He doesn't make shots, and that hurts the team. And, guys aren't going to go out and make 5-6 threes a game.
Yeah.
I think we all know that, but you have to contribute in some way. And there's games this year that Cooney has been invisible. I mean, he's made nothing, hasn't played well on defense, and, that hurts.
It's kind of a coincidence that you mentioned McNamara, because it was 10 years ago right now that McNamara got hot in the Big East tournament and led Syracuse into the end. Because remember, they were a bubble team that year. There was a lot of talk that, first of all, it was McNamara overrated, and Boeheim took exception to that, and he was absolutely right. And then is this team a tournament team? And I believe they won the Big East tourney that year. That was the UConn. No, 08 was no. 08 was the 6 overtime game, not 06. But anyways, I believe they won the tournament that year. They got in, and but I don't see Cooney channeling his inner McNamara. I just don't see that happening. McNamara, to me, one of the best players in Syracuse history.
Yeah.
And his record speaks for itself. Cooney has been a good player for Syracuse, no doubt about that. But I wouldn't put him at McNamara's level because the consistency just isn't there.
Well, the consistency isn't there, and McNamara was a leader. He was a leader on the floor, and I'm not saying that Cooney isn't, but he's not that same. He's not a solid ball handler. Whereas with McNamara, you could give him the ball and he could make some plays. Primarily as a shooter, but certainly could distribute the ball. It's a different situation, with Benajay. Benajay's really the guy you look to, to have, a McNamara-like performance. If Benajay plays well, which, he can be up and down at times, this team can go far. And, he can pick up the players around him, including Cooney. If Benajay's playing well, that creates more opportunities for Cooney. And Syracuse is a more dangerous team. When that happens.
Yeah, someone needs to get hot, no doubt about it. And like I said, whether it's Benajay, whether it's Cooney, whether it's Leiden, but someone needs to start lighting it up because again, this team defensively, I mean, they're not as strong as recent Syracuse teams have been with their zone defense. They just have been lacking at some points. So, but we'll see. Anything else you want to answer?
I'm all set.
All right, folks. That's it for another week. And I guess next week we'll be talking a little bit ACC hoops, maybe if Syracuse is still around, or we'll be looking forward to the NCAA's. Until then, we'll see you next week.